Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. I'm delighted to have our amazing filmmaker who made an incredible documentary, Voices from the Invisible. Welcome, Miriam. Good to have you here.
Good to be here, yes.
And for those that haven't seen your film, let's take a look at a clip.
The causes of my pain and agitation were invisible to the world. People just kept telling me there was nothing wrong with me. You just need to smile more. Even though it is scary to leave myself so vulnerable, I'm telling my story in hopes that I can encourage others to share their stories too. There's freedom in revealing your truth. We must raise awareness and find ways to bond over our similarities instead of comparing our differences. This is how we will be able to end the stigma. We each need to continue fighting despite feeling frustrated and hopeless at times. Each of us has a unique and powerful voice.
I'm so glad because I loved hearing from your story. I think you're such a wonderful filmmaker and you're so wonderfully inspirational. I love all the things that you're going into in your career. When was the moment for you, Miriam, where you're like, I want to turn this into a film? What was that moment for you?
Yeah, because it wasn't always like that. I would say like the past year, as my suffering continued, I was like, I want to tell my story. Like it's like this kind of like visceral thing that takes over you, and you really can't, as an artist, just in general, because I'm not just a filmmaker, I'm an artist and my mom's an artist. It kind of just, you realize like you have to do this. This is something that I need to tell the world because I know it can save lives, and I know that the mental health system is broken, and I need to, it's really mostly for advocacy purposes. I mean, I am very creative and I love doing any type of artwork, but with a film I thought it could really turn my suffering into some sort of silver lining and really teach and educate people, and if I could even save just one person, then it would be worth it for me. And so I just literally was bedridden until I finally decided to just get up and do something and make my situation better and hopefully make other people's situations better.
Yeah, I love that you said all that. I mean, I watching your film, I cried because I knew what you were standing up for, and I love your creative vision that you put into that. And I've got so many friends who've got certain things that you have, and I don't think there's enough out there for people in my world and everybody else in the world. And like you said, mental health is so broken, and it's so sad that it's a taboo to talk about, and it's ridiculous. And not to mention the cost of what people have to pay. Why should you have to pay to get better? It's crazy.
Yeah. I had a lot of social like justice issues in there. I have a lot of things in my own. This is entirely based on a true story. And unlike the things that you'll see like on TV or Netflix, I don't cut out, like I don't sugarcoat it. I sugarcoated it for the Easter films because I knew that was like treading, but for the next documentary, it will be 100% true, everything laid out on the table, no matter what, without being scared that like the cops are going to come knocking on my door. I don't care, because it's, for me, it's important to be transparent, because if we don't talk about suicide or these issues, we can't prevent it.
Yeah, 100%. Goodness me, I mean, it's and now, and it's it's ironic because I mean now more than ever, more and more people are suffering from mental health, or maybe their mental health is getting worse, and it's sliding down, absolutely, and I was just like, wow, I was like so glad that you just shined a light, and you made people feel like it's okay, I see you, and I thought that was so important. And for you personally, like what's, I mean, you're an artist, so you have a creative vision how you want to articulate something. Like when you're embarking on something like this, and especially when you're sharing part of your own story, how do you even begin? And who are the team of people around you that were helping you to support you making the film?
I like, how do I begin? That was your first question, right? How do you begin?
Correct.
You know what? It's like really not a process at all. Like I don't have this like I'm going to do this and then that. I'm very disorganized and my brain is because I have all these like things. But the most important thing is I have an idea all the time. Like ideas come to me and like they with poetry as well and I'm writing, they just like flow out and then I bring them to my team, which is my mommy, my dad, and my aunt, and we put them together and we execute them in a way that like hopefully the general public will understand, because these issues are very misunderstood, and they're very scary to a lot of people. They have a lot of stigma attached to them, but when I have an idea, I'm so lucky that I have my support network, which is my mom and my sister and I call her Auntie Talia,
Oh.
and my dogs, which you can hear kind of like scraping. I have dogs, and I guess we can call them part of our support system. We can, because like anything that makes you, driven and motivated is part of your support system. But I have this idea. They just come to me. I write them. I journal all the time. I'm writing 2 books, and it's like they come to me and I feel like I need to do this. Like it's like a fire inside. I'm a Scorpio. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Definitely.
But then my team and I'm like, you guys, I need to make this happen. And they really are amazing. And I could not have ever done any of this without them at all.
Oh, I love that you have such a wonderful team. I love that it's in the family too, because I mean, you really need to have people obviously making, someone to articulate your story. You need to have people that you really trust as well, on your team.
They're good at vetting, people out for me, because when I was first looking for a documentary, which I think this should be like a masterclass, it's hard for people with autism to like they're very vulnerable. So for us to go looking for people to work with us is very scary.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's good to like, I'm lucky that I have like, parents that really devote themselves to this and to me and to make sure I don't get scammed out of money or anything like that, because you have to keep in mind that is a very real thing that happens to autistic adult women. And I was late diagnosed with my autism just actually like this year. Mm-hmm. And I was misdiagnosed with every other mental disorder in the book up until I was 30 years old.
I mean, with that being said, I mean, I think you brought a very important point of just, how people can be scammed, and even recognizing that, because I don't think that's spoken about enough. That's actually happened to a friend of mine as well. And it's devastating, it's hurtful, and you can't believe there are people out there that are like that, but there are.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, it's a huge issue I want to put in the movie, because misdiagnosis for high functioning autism is astronomically high, because they did studies in little boys initially, so they didn't have the research on little girls or adults in general. There's so many things I want to bring up in this movie or this film that really will do justice, because like you're right, none of these things have been done before, but they're like huge issues in our society these days. And that's when it's like I was sitting in bed like wallowing, feeling depressed. I do have treatment resistant depression and OCD. I will be also getting brain surgery. Well, it's called, my dad doesn't like when I say brain surgery, so it's not a lobotomy. People think brain surgery is a lobotomy, but it's actually called deep brain stimulation. They do drill holes into your head. But the reason I'm saying the details is because I am unique. My story is unique. Like, it's very rare to see that procedure being done for mental health issues. However, it has had it went 3 years ago when I wanted to do it. It had a low success rate. Now it has a pretty high success rate. And if it does work, it can save so many people's lives.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you shared that with us. And, the greatness is that, you are unique, and especially in your creative vision. And one thing that you shared earlier that I actually got goosebumps when I heard it is that you're going to make your next film is the fact that you're not going to turn away the cameras. You're not going to have this kind of glossy coat. You're going to tell people the truth. And I think that's so powerful.
Using Cause Pictures, which is run by John Fitzgerald. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he is just so good. Like, the reason I feel comfortable putting it all out there and not sugarcoating it is because he's going to guide the story in a way that's not like, you know, dark and awful and terrible. Like, it's going to be the truth. It's going to be my life, which is, yes, it can be dark, awful, terrible. It's tragic, but it also is me turning that tragedy, like, turn your broken heart into art, which is what you said. And it's kind of really what I'm doing. And so I'm really lucky to have him be, because he's the perfect fit, because he makes films that are like about certain causes. And I'm glad, because if I were to be amongst me doing all, like, I have the vision, but if it was to be my complete vision, it would just be like this dark like, you know, kind of more, I don't know, emotional and passionate. So it's good to have people that are emotional and passionate like me, but yet other people to balance that out and to make it like appeal to, say, an audience that doesn't know mental health issues, because that's what we're get at, right? We're trying to make understand like diversity and inclusion, and not just mentally, but I'm actually, my nonprofit is including physical as well, because even though I don't look like I have an illness on mentally, I have a mental disability as well as a physical disability, but people would never know.
Exactly. I mean, I'm so happy of all the things that you are doing, and just going back to you know, voices from the invisible, and having something that obviously is invisible. What did you want, if you had a choice, what did you want your audience to take from your film? Like, you know, if they could go away with it. I know it's different for different people, but was there kind of something that you could share with us that you would like?
By the way, I haven't used any of my notes. Yay me.
Oh, good for you.
I knew I wasn't going to use any of them, because I always just go by me. Like, it's literally a part of me. Like, this is me. Like, I don't need notes. It's like, so what would the audience want to take away? I would want them to, honestly, like, throughout this, I've realized you can't change people's minds necessarily. However, you can impact them. And I would just want, hopefully, to impact someone who had their mind set on a certain belief, and to open, like, just to open their minds just a little bit. So I want, as people to open their minds, I want to spread, you know, I want a lot of things. I want the stigma to kind of lessen. I want people to see that, you know, that if I can come across this way, which is obviously called masking in the autism community, that, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. And, like, obviously we all have stuff. Some may, I have a very serious, you know, mental health issue, and you would never know it. So don't go outside treating people like crap, because you don't know, the minute you might do that, the minute they might go and, you know, do something awful. And so I think it's really important that people realize that there's people that look like me and that are severely ill. And I don't think, like, people still don't get it. People have told me to smile, that I'm not ill, that I just need this or some yoga or some this or that, or I'm a yoga and Pilates instructor. Like, leave me alone. I'm tired of hearing that. I wish, if anything I could do, is just change people's minds and open up their, you know, their perception of what it means to have an invisible illness.
Yeah.
Because we are out there, and we are everywhere, and I used to be ashamed, but I'm clearly not anymore. And I think a lot of people are ashamed, which is preventing them from getting the help that they need.
Oh, this is like a TED talk, Miriam. It's wonderful. I love that you said about, you know, about not changing humans, but impacting humans. And I really do feel that you're impacting people to become better humans and have better understanding and appreciation for each other. And, like you say, not judge people on face value or any of those things. And
Not look like what you look like on the outside. I could put my hair, I could look, you know, like a queen. I can, but that does not mean that I feel that way. And I think people are just so focused on the appearance, you know. you know, I hate to say it, but that's ignorant.
No, it really is. It really is. And I love that you know, put on the everlasting focus. I mean, it's two things. I mean, I don't think, you know, there's disability, there's invisible disability, and there's mental health. And I think all of those things, are, yeah, they're not great. They've got a lot of work to do in society to be more, you know, supported. And I love for you as a filmmaker that you're, you know, obviously creating a nonprofit, and this is all very exciting. And, you know, and you know, you obviously, your story is inspiring, but also you as a filmmaker and your vision is inspiring too. Now, I know that you're expanding next. So your next project you're working on is this particular next phase with the production company, right?
Yeah, we're doing a memoir with John Fitzgerald, and I'm sorry, not a memoir. I have too many projects going on.
I love it.
The memoir is with Noah Charney. He's a Slovenian American writer that actually got the Pulitzer Prize. He was a nominee for a Pulitzer Prize. He's very talented. He's going to be doing kind of the memoir side, but I'm also writing a children's cookbook for autism.
Oh, that's amazing.
Also for people with disabilities, like it's a neurodiverse cookbook, so it doesn't just have.
It's behind you, sensory delights, baking.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wait. I want to show you just a small, not part. This is our book. Our book isn't done. We're submitting the first chapter, but it's for like all people, like, you know, people with learning disabilities, people with physical disabilities, because it follows the ADA guidelines, and it's something that's never been done before.
Yes, love it.
It says like
it was also autistic.
And my friend who's helping me write it is also autistic.
Love it.
And, I'm really excied about that project the most, actually. I know I should be more excited about the documentary, but I get scared.
Oh, get it. That's wonderful.
On the bottom of each page, I'm showing it. My mom says no, but she drew it. On the bottom of each page is gonna have my dog wearing like a little chef's hat, making little like remarks, and like.
It's your emotional support dog.
That's
how cute. Oh my God, I love it. Wow.
So we're submitting, and we have a celebrity chef that's helping out with this, and I'm not going to say his name, but he's in Canada, and we're just really blessed, you know, to have, you know, someone who's going to be taking this and making this cookbook for neurodiverse disability people, like the population, because it's never been done before. And I really just want to make something that's unique and that tailors, you know, such a therapeutic thing, which is baking, towards people with sensory issues or cognitive, you know, issues, because the cookbooks that we have now just don't do stuff like that. They're not autism or neurodiverse friendly. And we decided to do that, which is a lot because now we have that to do, but I like to stay busy.
I'm so impressed by this, and for someone that used to work with children that were neurodiverse and had autism, I can't wait to buy a lot of books, cookbooks, so I can give it to you know, children from the same school. Oh, this is honestly so really. I'm so glad you're making that, and it's, you know, you're. Oh, look at this little thing. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Absolutely, what a love bug right there.
This
so
is
beautiful.
Of the cookbook. He goes
starring role, right?
Yeah, like he gets to go on the bottom saying his little like tips and tricks, and I have to follow certain guidelines for the ADA, but also for the chef, because we need the endorsement from the, you know, celebrity chef. And it's super exciting to be a part of these projects, and it all happened because of Easter Seals, and it all because of all these opportunities and just motivating me every day to get out of bed, because before that I just wasn't doing it. I was just stuck in a rut, you know, and finally these projects, and it's just really like surreal almost. It feels really good to know that these things will be making a difference in people's lives. I've already gotten so many text messages and things, you know, saying that I made a difference, and that's like enough of a reward, because for the cookbook, we're donating a lot of the proceeds to the Brain and Behavioral Research Foundation.
That's I mean, this is amazing. And you know, I mean, the one thing I just want to, you know, remind you is in respect to what you just said, like, we need you in this industry. We need your artistic vision. We need your care of other human beings, and, you know, making sure we put things out there that we need to be talking about. And I love all that. And what I'm excited about is the people you'll get to meet in making this journey, the people you'll touch, and then people you may never meet, but will be touched by your project and your work. And it's just so great.
I just wish that I this year, because I didn't go to the panel, you know, I was sad because I never met anybody who was in this film challenge. And I was like, I really was hoping, I think maybe that was even one of my motivations, because I really wanted to meet people like me. I don't really have many friends because I sit in the house a lot doing emails and things and this and that. But I really wanted to meet people like me, and honestly, no one's really like me, but I'd like to meet people like closer to my, and I was just a little bit disappointed that I couldn't do that, because
if that happen, well, I'm gonna speak to the team and make sure, because I certainly know, having had the pleasure of interviewing lots of people, that I know there's people there that you would love to connect with, and that you'll connect with as a human being too. So I will help set that up. Don't worry, because
I've been up for like a year now. I swear.
I'm so excited. I can't wait for your cookbook. I can't wait for your projects. I'll be the fan in the corner waiting for it to happen. So, you know, listen, I just want to thank you. Stay motivated. A big thank you to your parents and your auntie and all the people that are involved, and your dog, because they're all playing an important part in keeping you motivated. So, yeah. But no, thank you very much. Thank you for bringing your film, and just keep making more movies for us, please.
Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you. And yeah, like, thank you so much.